let's talk about Solo Sikoa and who tried to frame Jacob Fatu, because we all know who it was. It was Solo. I loved this last night. I'm just going to get straight to you, Ant. What were your thoughts on the Solo frame job when it comes to Jacob Fatu?
So this is so great. I mean, like, it seems like every year, as soon as we start ramping up for SummerSlam, someone's getting thrown on a car, someone's getting hit by a car. There's just all kinds of craziness going on. And I am here for it. It takes me back to the 90s, my nostalgia, Vince McMahon getting blasted in the limo. Just everything that's beautiful about the drama of wrestling is going on right now. You had Solo and the rest of his crew. Tongalao was all bloody, man. There was a nasty car wreck. And, they were like, we don't know who did it, but we all know who did it. And they were waiting to set up Jacob Fatu. And I love how they're using Jacob's past and his mistakes and him being locked up and stuff and bringing that into his, the storyline. And, he's always going to be a suspect. It was so fun. It was fun to watch last night. And as we found out that it was Solo who set it all up and they brought Jacob back, just watching how ignorant Jacob was being with the police officers completely fit that SoCal gangster. Just Jacob Fatu attitude. And it was great. I mean, from him spitting on the cars to just like disrespecting the police officers. Now, first of all, I don't believe in disrespecting police officers. This is all for entertainment, but it was great entertainment.
It was.
It was so fun to watch, man.
I love the way you said that too, because I agree. Like, it was great entertainment and it was perfect and it fit Jacob Fatu perfectly. And even knowing the past, like that he's been to prison, right? The fear there too played into it, all of it. I thought it was super, super well executed. Excuse me. But either way, I do also want to ask Des, and then we'll keep breaking this one down and keep it moving here for sure, Ant. But I'm with you, man. I thought it was one of the most entertaining things they did last night for sure. But what did you think, Des?
Not going to lie, Ant, you makes a great point. It just seems like every time SummerSlam rolls around, someone gets hit by a car. Like, I feel like we got to do better, WWE, legal-wise. We can't be having our wrestlers being hit by cars. But I got to say, when that opened up SmackDown, I was really confused. Like, it was funny, but I was like, I thought Cody and Cena was going to open the show, and then all of a sudden, a car crash happens. I'm like, okay, like, all right, well, let's go with it. I also saw a comment too that said, "My goat Tongaloa botched the car accident too," and I was like, wow, that's really that was pretty funny.
That's almost mean, but hilarious.
Yeah, I'm saying, man, but it was a really great segment, really funny all around. I even thought the security guards were really funny in this too. This is a great way of showcasing how funny and how good Solo's character work has been. It has greatly improved from being the wannabe tribal chief to being his own character, which the fans can get into, and it makes sense because it fits his character because Fatu has been in prison. So for him to use that, it makes him more of a coward, but it also makes him more of like that goofy villain. And I think that fits his role perfectly. I feel like they should keep going on this route. Keep Solo's character like this and don't change it.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, exactly. The whole time they put Solo in the handcuffs and they were taking him to the back. It was comedy gold. When he looked at Cody and he was just like, Cody, everybody loves you. Help me out, Cody.
It was like perfect.
It was great.
So good. There's a comment, Clark. I can't pull up comments.
Which one? Sorry.
Angie Diva said, all of the car stuff makes me think that the writers like Street Fighter.
That's hysterical.
And with Street Fighter coming out,
Street Fighter,
with Cody being Guile, and there's all that stuff, man. That's a great call right there. That's pretty funny.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things. At some point, Solo's going to get too funny to root against, though. That's my only fear, by the way. As much as we've talked about that, I'm a little worried we'll get into a spot where he almost organically becomes a babyface. Because, again, the entertainment value on his facial expressions and everything is so good. I think the sky's sort of the limit for him. I guess my question for y'all would be, how down the road are we going to pay off this Solo and Jacob thing? I'll start with you on that one, Ant. What do you think about that? How do we pay this off down the road if we're going to fantasy book it?
So I'm pretty sure like it's going to be quick, right? Like I love them giving Solo the title right now and letting him just run with it. Just letting Solo do what he wants to do, building up his faction and all that. But I think at SummerSlam, Jacob's going to get it back. Speaking of great pairings, this pairing of Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso, really good. Really good. I hope this, like I say this every time Jimmy Uso gets involved in something, I hope this pans out to a push for him because nothing this guy does is bad. Right? Yeah. The wrong Uso brother got the big push. I'll stand by that. The wrong Uso brother got the push.
I think it could have been either or, but I hear you.
If Jimmy wasn't hurt, we would have never had right-hand man Jey Uso.
That's true.
I'm sorry. I just think Jimmy's better. But that's me. That's me.
No, that's fair. Big Jim gets me. I think comedically he's better as well, which is why I think he kind of worked with Solo for a time too.
Yeah.
But the pairing with Fatu is awesome. And the other thing that I like about this, so Jay's got a few up on him as far as tag team title runs alongside Cody Rhodes. He and Jacob can catch that number so the Usos now have the same amount of title runs. That would be awesome. And obviously we're going to get to the tag division later, so no spoilers there. But as far as the same question that I asked Ant you, I do want to give it to you as well, Des. What do you think the end game is for Solo and Fatu? Do you agree with Ant that he gets it back at SummerSlam? Because I think it's a distinct possibility.
I do want to say before I add that, I noticed where Solo said once a criminal, always a criminal. That reminded me of Randy Orton. You guys know the segment I'm talking about with MVP, Kofi, and Mark Henry, and Orton was like, it's the usual. Like, it reminded me just like that, which I thought was a really funny callback. But anyways, I do think SummerSlam is going to be the end game. I'm not going to lie to you. The steel cage kind of threw me off. I was expecting Bloodline Rules, and I know that sounds kind of off given that Bloodline Rules is more for the main event picture, but I feel like it would work since there's so many people that could have been in the match. Tongaloa, Talatanga, Tongaloa, Tamatonga, Jimmy Uso. You could throw Jey Uso in there. You could even put in Solo Sikoa, Fatu. Like, there's so many different names that could be part of the match. I do think Fatu is going to win it at SummerSlam. I don't really know what's next. They teased Fatu and Damian Priest and Fatu and McIntyre a little bit on SmackDown, so maybe that's the path they go on for the rest of the year. But I do think Fatu is walking out United States champion at SummerSlam for sure.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
My bad, sir. No, the only person that wins Bloodline Rules matches are Cody Rhodes. Every single Bloodline Rules match,
go figure.
He's been the winner.
Well, I was about to say as well too, Des. I wouldn't have minded the Bloodline Rules move, but I think we got our answer later in the night as to why not.
Yeah.
Because Street Fight Bloodline Rules is basically the same stipulation. We've also got an interesting comment here from Levi_WWE. He said, I feel like the match between Solo and Jacob should be a Hell in a Cell, not a steel cage. That's interesting. Okay. I hear where you're coming from. I think down the road, we will eventually get a Hell in a Cell between these two, considering the family ties and how electric they are for sure. Steel cage makes more sense to me for two reasons. First, outdoor stadium. They're at MetLife. They're in New York. Lowering a cell there is not an easy task. And getting it in the building is an even more difficult task than just the regular steel cage. And they're already going to do the double ring, drop the giant cage in an outdoor ballpark at Petco in November. I think just honestly, for the sake of the production crew and moving that much metal, trying to make it work, steel cage makes the most sense. But that's just my 2 cents at least. I apologize. I got kind of the hiccups, guys, by the way. Bear with me there. But at the same time, yeah, that's just my thoughts. I am in agreement with both of you, though. I do think Fatu gets it back, which would, of course, make it basically, is it 2-1 or 1-1 then? All time. Between him and Solo. That would be 1-1.
Yeah,
it'd be 1-1. They've only had one match. Yeah, they've had one match.
So we could easily get a rubber match, and I think maybe to Levi's question earlier, that's where you could get a potential Hell in a Cell, or even to Dez's point, a Bloodline Rules type match as the ultimate finish.
You never know, depending on what happens tomorrow night. If someone doesn't show up, you could have a big case for someone showing up at SummerSlam. It's easier to get into a cage, into a Hell of a Cell. And someone doesn't like Solo using the spike. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to open that can of worms. But man, Zeta Foxtrot could show up.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. The tribal chief. Honestly though, by the way, that new T-shirt I think is the worst one of any of the tribal chief T-shirts, and I've liked
the
both
OTC one. Yeah,
made me mad.
No, I'm not talking about the tribal chief.
I know you're not. I just
I know
I just was while we were talking Bloodline. That was sorry. I started like kind of thinking aloud out there. It's like, you know what really actually bothered me earlier this week? Speaking of the Bloodline, while we're on this, I'm not hyped about this stupid T-shirt.
And usually all of his T-shirts are so good.
They're great. I love the one with Heyman. I forget which one was that. It's the one Roman wore. It's all white and has Heyman, and he's like in a suit, and Roman's in the table. I can't remember which one that is.